In 33 AD, a fragile community of roughly 120 followers gathered in Jerusalem. In the wake of the Ascension, they were a group without a clear path forward, surrounded by a city that had just seen their leader executed. They faced a massive leadership vacuum. The inner circle of the apostles, the foundation of their movement, had been broken by the betrayal of Judas Iscariot. The details of Judas's end were grim. Biblical accounts describe him falling headfirst in a field, his body bursting open upon impact. This violent demise left a dark cloud hanging over the community, a physical reminder of the treachery that had nearly destroyed them. To the early believers, the number 12 wasn't an arbitrary choice. They viewed the Apostolic College as a representation of the 12 tribes of Israel. To be the new Israel, that sacred circle had to be restored to its full count. Replacing Judas was a vital spiritual prerequisite. Healing this fracture was the only way to stabilize the church's foundation before it could begin a mission to the rest of the world. Peter established a strict vetting process for the new apostle. The candidate had to be a man who had witnessed Jesus' entire earthly ministry, from his baptism by John all the way through the resurrection. 2 finalists emerged from the broader group of 72 disciples, Joseph Barsabbas, known as Justus, and a man named Matthias. To ensure the choice remained free of human politics, the apostles turned to prayer, asking for a sign of divine preference. "Lord, you know everyone's heart. Show us which one of these 2 you have chosen." They utilized the ancient practice of casting lots, a randomized selection process. When the results were in, the lot fell to Matthias. It was a fitting result. In Hebrew, the name Matthias means gift of God. This election gave Matthias a unique status. He became the only apostle in history chosen not by Jesus in person, but through a formalized institutional process guided by the Holy Spirit. Immediately after his election, a paradox emerges. The canonical New Testament never mentions Matthias again. He effectively disappears from the written record of the Bible. Early traditions of the Church fill this silence, describing Matthias leaving Judea to preach in the hostile, rugged highlands of Cappadocia. He continued to the edges of the known world, traveling along the Caspian Sea and into Ethiopia, a region we now know as Georgia. One cinematic legend tells of Matthias in the country of the man-eaters, where he was forced to drink a blinding poison. According to the story, Matthias not only survived the toxin, but went on to miraculously cure 250 other prisoners who had been blinded by the same drink. These accounts established Matthias as an elite spiritual warrior, a figure whose legendary missionary work expanded the reach of the Church into the most dangerous frontiers of antiquity. The records of his death are often contradictory. While some Greek traditions claim he died of old age, the most prominent accounts describe a much more violent end. The most widely cited tradition holds that Matthias was tried in Jerusalem as a seducer and condemned to be stoned to death. When the stoning failed to kill him, a Roman soldier stepped in to finish the execution, finally beheading him with an axe. This specific method of execution defined his image in Christian art. Today, Matthias is almost always shown holding the axe that ended his life. By surviving the stones and falling to the blade, Matthias attained the place required to fully secure his seat among the 12. In the 2nd century, a mystery appeared, a controversial text known as the Gospel of Matthias. Fragments of the text describe a philosophy of extreme asceticism. It demanded that followers aggressively combat the flesh, denying all physical pleasure as a means to grow the soul through faith and knowledge. Radical groups, including the followers of Valentinus and Basilides, used these teachings to support their own theological views, co-opting Matthias's name to give their movements an air of apostolic authority. The Church eventually fought back. The Decretum Gallicanum officially condemned the text as heretical and apocryphal, leading to its eventual disappearance from history. It is a strange historical turn. The very apostle chosen to unify the Church through a divine lot saw his name hijacked to justify the theological divisions that threatened to pull that church apart. Matthias's physical remains followed their own complex path. Tradition says Empress Helena, mother of Constantine, moved his relics from Jerusalem to Rome to protect them. Today, those remains are believed to be housed in Italy's Basilica of Santa Giustina and Germany's Abbey of St. Matthias in Trier. This abbey is a unique site in the Christian world, housing the only tomb of an apostle located north of the Alps. His legacy even extends into modern devotion. Because of his teachings on self-mastery and legends of his own discipline, he is venerated today as the patron saint of alcoholics. Matthias provided the mechanism for the early church to move past its first, most devastating failure. His transition from a silent observer to a martyr in distant lands demonstrated that the apostolic mission was durable enough to survive both the betrayal of its leaders and the chaos
that came as a price with the mission.